I'm Bill Wilson. Welcome to our Prairie Farm Report on miniature tractors. Over the years, we've had inventions on our show which came in all shapes and sizes. Well, today's program definitely falls into the size small category. For Peter Leschasin of Rossburn, Manitoba, retiring from farming meant he had to find a new set of challenges. He chose to devote much of his energy toward constructing this miniature tractor. The Western Manitoba inventor used a John Deere engine with about 20 horsepower, mainly because he liked the way it sounded.
It's an LUC John Deere. It's off a 12A combine, one of those clipper type. The starter is off a Model M John Deere tractor and also the ring gear, but the ring gear was too big, so I cut it down 10 cogs or notches, and I shrunk it together and I spot welded to the flywheel, and it works perfect.
Even though he gave the tractor John Deere colors, Leschasin didn't copy any specific Deere tractor. The clutch came with the motor from the old combine, along with the air cleaner and exhaust system. The manual steering sector was taken from a Model A car, while the front axle came from a Model T. The retired Manitoba farmer bought the wheels and axles at a yard sale, even though they weren't a perfect fit. He solved the problem by machining a plate, welding a piece on each wheel, and drilling appropriate holes to fit the Model T hubs. During his search for parts for the tractor, Leschasin found it helpful to have generous friends.
That transmission is of a 1949 Chev half-ton. It was given to me by my neighbor just across the highway.
The 3-speed transmission is driven by the same sprocket that originally unloaded grain in the combine. The shaft that drove the combine could eventually be used for a power takeoff attachment, which would make the tractor available for jobs like mowing the lawn. Since the project worked out so well, the talented Manitoba inventor has even entered a few parades.
Actually, in Rossburn, I had a trophy for the best restored tractor. The judges fooled.
Did you ever tell them what it really was?
I think the mayor told him after.
Leschasin estimates the total cost of building the tractor at under $200. Leschasin's miniature machinery line involves more than just a tractor. This truck resulted from a visit to a Texas junkyard for wrecked golf carts.
A man came along and I asked him, who could I ask to buy some of this stuff? And he says, me. So he asked me what I want, and I told him I would like the rear axle, the front axle, and the steering sector. Asked him how much he'd want for it, and he says $20.
After acquiring the axles and the steering system, he decided to use an 11-horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine. Leschasin then made this hydraulic hoist that's easily controlled from the driver's seat.
I used the cylinder of a Massey 80 combine. It's a cylinder of a variable drive in the combine. It's a short, stubby cylinder.
The Western Manitoba craftsman also built the box for the truck. The freight-style sides are 1 by 2-inch lumber and 1-inch square tubing. The floor is made from 16-gauge sheet metal, and the same material Leschasin used to give the truck-like appearance to the front end.
A hydraulic jack, put 2 4x4s, about 10 inches apart, and a round pipe in the middle, and I jacked it up to the ceiling, and I made that bend, and the rest I just welded.
He decided to use a 3-speed transmission from an old Willis car because it had the easiest way to make the linkage for a gear shift on the floor. Leschasin mounted a variable drive on the transmission and then discovered the need for another modification.
Well, the gearbox I had to build because otherwise I would have had 3 speeds in reverse and 1 forward. So 2 gears in there to change the revolution of the axle.
The artistic Manitoban estimates the material cost of building the truck at around $1,000, with over half of that price tied up in the cost of the engine.